Let us take a look at this one. Paulina deposits 100,000 into a 5-year savings account, and 2 years later she withdraws 2,000. She withdraws 20,000. Calculate the future value of her investment if the interest rate for the first 3 years is 18% per annum. I'm going to highlight some important things here. Calculate the future value. The future value, so it simply means you are going forward in time, not backward anymore. So the value of n will be positive for this one. Of investment if the interest rate for the first 3 years. For the first 3 years, it is how much? It is 18% per annum compounded monthly, and 18% per annum compounded half yearly for the remaining 2 years. 18% compounded half yearly for the remaining 2 years. I'm going to do our timeline here. Very much important. The timeline is very useful. She deposits how much? She deposits 100,000, and 2 years down the line, she withdraws how much? When you withdraw, therefore I'm going to subtract that amount. She withdraws 20,000. It means you are taking money out from your savings account. This is 2 years, and that is 3 years, 0 years, 4 years, and 5 years. 2 years later, she withdraws how much? 20,000. Let us go and look at our interest rate. The interest rate, 3 years, it is 18% per annum compounded monthly. In other words, from year to year, the interest rate, it was 18% per annum compounded monthly. Remember, monthly we are going to divide the interest rate by 12 and also multiply the number of years by 12. And how much again? And 18% interest rate for the remaining 2 years. It is 18%, but compounded half yearly this time. Half yearly this time. Half yearly means 2. Remember, half yearly means 2. So you are going to divide the interest rate by 2 and also multiply the number of years by how much? By 2. So we are going to run the investment for 2 years, not for 3 years. We are going to run the investment for 2 years and withdraw 20,000 and run the investment for a year before the interest rate changes to half yearly. So we're going to have A is equals to 100,000 into 1 plus 18%. Remember, you divide it by 100 first, so it is 0.18, and divided by what now? By monthly. How many months do we have in a year? We have 12 months. For how much? For how many years? For 2 years, multiplied by what? Monthly. Remember, what affects the interest rate also affects the number of years. So when you divide the interest rate by 12, you multiply the number of years by 12. When you divide the interest rate by 2, you multiply the number of years by 2. Let us check how much it gives us. This one, 100,000 into 1 plus 0.18 monthly, raised to an exponent of 2 years multiplied by 12. We have 142,950,02,2812. So this is how much Paulina had after 2 years. Then from this amount, she withdrew how much? She withdrew 20,000 minus 20,000, which leaves Paulina with 122,950,2812. So we're going to run the investment for how many years? For a year before we change the interest rate from compounded monthly to half yearly. So we're going to have this is A1, A2, which is going to be a 122,950,2812. We remember we said we run it for a year. So it's going to be 1 year multiplied by 12, which is 12. This is going to give us how much? Let us check now. answer into 1 plus 0.18 divided by 12 raised to 12. It gives us a 147,001,5904. So after 3 years, Paulina had this amount. So we're going to run an investment, but changing from monthly to half yearly for the remaining 2 years. Remember the investment, it was for 5 years. We have run the investment for 3 years. We have to change from monthly to half yearly. So we are going to run it for 2 years now, for the remaining 2 years, changing from monthly to half yearly. But the interest rate, it is still how much? It is still 18%. So Paulina is going to have how much? Let us check. 001,5904 into 1 plus the interest rate, it is still 18%, but we are moving from monthly to half yearly. Remember, we said half yearly means 2 for the remaining 2 years. For the remaining 2 years, multiplied by what? Remember, what affects your interest rate also affects your number of years. So in other words, Paulina is going to have, let us check now, is going to have 1 plus 0.18 half yearly for the remaining 2 years, half yearly. So Paulina is going to have 207,504.74. So this is the amount Paulina is going to have after how many years? After 5 years. After her investment, she's going to have this amount.